Morning, friends. I'm CMA here. Welcome to Hame Accountants. Today, we'll look into an important topic as to if we receive a notice from the department, how do we handle it? In case if the department officer rejects our reply, what are the recourses available to us and how do we get to the closure? It's often we find that if we receive a notice from the department, we tend to get nervous as to what happens if my reply is not accepted, what happens if I'm unable to convince the officer, what are the recourses available. Government is aware of the situation, hence they have given lot of recourses to us to mitigate and go for closure. Even GST officer wants to help us out. He wants to be convinced before he gives the final order. Most often it is seen that the issue is the interpretation of law. So let's quickly get into this topic and understand the steps or the recourses available with an assessee to resolve this litigation. In this case, I have taken ASMT 10 as an example. It can be any other notice, the same sequence, same steps, and same closure is available. So in this case, as I told, I have taken ASMT 10 as an example. This is issued under Section 61 of CGST Act, wherein it is scrutiny of GST return. This return can be monthly, annual, or multiple months. So once you get ASMT 10 notice, you have two options. One, to litigate it or to accept it and make the payment. In case if you want to make payment and close it, and if you feel that the notice is genuine and you have genuinely made a mistake, you can always make payment in DRC 03 and file ASMT 11. Then department will issue ASMT 12 and the matter gets closed. In case also if you file your reply in ASMT 11 stating that the department is wrong in its order, you can clarify it, and if the explanation is acceptable by the department will issue SMT 12 and the matter gets closed. In case department does not accept with your reply, they will issue DRC 01A. DRC here means Demand and Recovery Certificate. Even here, you have the option to make the payment and close the issue. You can make payment in DRC 03. Department will issue DRC 01A Part C, and the matter gets closed. In case if you don't want to make the payment, you want to further litigate, you can respond with the DRC 01A Part B. If department accepts your reply, they will issue a closure under DRC 01A Part C. In case if they reject it, what happens is they will issue a DRC 01, that is show cause notice, either under section 73 or 74. Here it is at this point, it becomes litigative between the assessee and the department. Here, department will, if the department feels that you are gained by fraudulent means, then they'll issue under 74. If they feel that it's a genuine mistake, then they'll issue under section 73. In this case, also you have two options. Either you can make payment through DRC 03, get an acknowledgement of DRC 04, and you will receive a DRC 05 as a SN closure. No, you don't want to make the payment, you want to litigate it, you can reply in SCN DRC 06. If department feels your reply is genuine and they agree, they'll issue DRC 05 for closure. No, department feels that no, your reply is not acceptable, then they will issue a final order. That's also called adjudication order under DRC 07. This is the final order from the department. Department says no more hearing any reply from your end. This is my final conclusion. This is my final order. This is the amount you need to pay. What happens at this stage is that it gets updated in your electronic liability register part 2. So, in case if you don't want to further litigate, you can always make the payment in GST PMT 06. It will get updated in your electronic cash ledger. You can offset this liability of electronic liability register part 2 with your electronic cash ledger, and the matter gets closed. Here there will not be any reply or an order from the department for closure. It will automatically your order and your notice gets closed. No, you don't want to make the payment, you want to litigate. Here, as I said, your relationship with your tax officer is done with. Now you have to go for appellate authority. You have to appeal to appellate authority. This is the first appeal. The government gives you two levels of appeal. This is first appeal. You have to file under GST APL 01. You have 3 months time from the date of adjudication order to file this appeal. You need to give 10% deposit of the disputed tax. Once the appellate authority listens to your case, they will pass an appellate order. Let's assume it is a favor. Under the order will be APL 04. If it's favorable, then automatically your order and your notice gets closed. If it is an unfavorable order, again you have option to make the payment under GST PMT 06 and close this issue. No, you want to further appeal, you have to go for the second appeal. That is called GST. That is GST Appellate Tribunal Appeal. Under section 112, you have to file form GST APL 05. Again, you have time of 3 months from the appellate order. Here again, you need to give 10% deposit of the disputed tax. So totally, the authority will have 20% deposit with you at this stage. Now, GSTAT order comes after hearing your side. If it's a favorable, then the order and notice automatically gets closed. If it is an unfavorable order, again you have choice to make the payment and close the issue under GST PMT 06, or if you want to further appeal, you have to knock the doors of High Court. When it comes to High Court will not entertain all the appeals. They'll entertain only if it is substantial question of law. Under section 117, they'll take the appeal. You have to file this within 180 days from the date of GSTAT order. Again, the High Court gives a favorable reply, well and good. The entire demand order and notice gets closed. No, if it's not favorable order, again you have choice of paying to PMT 06 and closing the issue, or you have to appeal further. Now it's a final appeal, that is appeal to the Supreme Court. Again, Supreme Court will not entertain all the appeals. They feel High Court has made a major mistake, major legal mistake. Then only they will take this up. Even this has to be filed within 90 days from the High Court order. If Supreme Court gives a favorable reply, well and good, automatically the order gets closed. Else, if it's an unfavorable order, you have only one choice, that is to make payment in GST PMT 06 and close the issue. You don't have further process, further recourse available. It is dead end. As I said earlier, this ASMT, as I said earlier, I have taken up ASMT 10 only as an example. Even in other cases like DRC 01C, where it is you get an automatic notice if there's a mismatch, big mismatch between GST 3B and GST 2B. Even it's the same process, you have to automatically file through the reply in the portal. The same process starts from show cause notice. So even if you get an audit notice under ADT 01, it's the same recourse available. Hope this is clear. Now what I'll do is, since this was a elaborate explanation with pros and cons, let me just quickly go through the only the litigation mode, purely litigation mode. So ASMT 10 is issued, you reply in ASMT 11, refusing to make the payment. The department does not accept your reply, they issue DRC 01A, that's pre-SCN intimation. Then you respond with DRC 01A Part B. Then department does not accept your reply, they issue DRC 01 show cause notice. Then what happens? You reply to DRC 06, department again refuses your order, your reply, sorry. Then they give final order. Then you don't agree to it. You go for appeal. First stage appeal with appellate authority. Again, appeal is rejected. Then you go to second stage, that is GSTAT appeal. Then GSTAT order also is not favorable to you. Then you can go to High Court, but provided it's a substantial question of law. Then, if it is again not favorable, you can appeal as a final recourse. You can appeal in Supreme Court. Again, High Court takes only if it has major legal impact. Then, if the Supreme Court order is also not favorable, you don't have choice than to make the payment and close the issue. Hope I have given a clearer picture of the steps involved. through litigation. Let me hope I have get my I have explained it clearly. Sorry. Uh, Thanks a lot for listening until the end. Let me meet you in another video. Thanks a lot.